guys, so I just found out that Rudy is coming over to our shop.
We're gonna go throw this intake back on. It's inside metal shavings. Look at that. What's under your hood?
Well, I've got a 460 big block.
What's up, you guys? We're back building this rat rod. So before I get to any welding for this trans tunnel, I gotta start cleaning it. I have some glue gun, clean up the surface. I don't know if you guys can tell, but inside, right here, there's like a bunch of like residue of carpet. So I need to get all that cleaned up before I can weld on so I have a better surface. All right, guys, so now I'm gonna show you the process of making a trans tunnel. So first we're gonna take some chipboard, lay it all out, get all the dimensions we need. We'll go from there and we can start working with metal. But let me go show you guys this process of using the chipboard to make it happen. So I have it all tack welded into place. I just have the final piece right there to tack weld in. I think what I'm first gonna do is I'm gonna weld up this whole side up first. Tack weld that piece in, make sure it fits, throw it on the truck, on the chassis, double check it fits, and then go from there. Weld up the rest if it fits. If not, make some adjustments and then weld it up there. Most of this trans tunnel welded up, especially the halves I wanted, and now I'm gonna put it on a lift and make sure the trans tunnel fits for the transmission. All right, here she is, all bolted down. I gotta move the bed back on. It just goes on these brackets right here. Yeah, all welded in. So now the next step is get the upper intake back on, injectors in, wire it up, brakes in, steering column. Basically, you just do everything to make it drive. All right, you guys, brake booster is on. Good. So now I have to come in from the inside with this bracket that comes from Wilwood for these trucks. Put it on there, get it all bolted down nice and tight so it doesn't fall off. And that way, the pedal is set up and the steering column can come in, then throttle. And that's basically all you need to drive once everything else is hooked up, so. Just like that, you guys. And it's bolted in. So we can start working on the steering column now. I was looking at it before, and someone cut out the middle piece where this bolts. So it's kind of unfortunate, but what I could do is I could just take a straight piece that looks at it, sheet metal, bolted it on both sides and be good. All right, you guys, I got the piece that's missing for the steering column. Just go ahead and screw it in. It should be simple. Hold it up. We pretty much got this steering column in. All I have to do is put 2 bolts there, 2 bolts on the other side, connect to the firewall, and then the steering column is done. I'm gonna need to get a wheel for that as well. I am gonna need to get a plate cover for this, so it's just not wide open. But I think the next step in our process is wiring, and I actually have already made the wiring harness. I'll show you guys that. So it should be pretty plug and play in here. Here's my table, all the parts I need for the truck, and here's the wiring harness. So I made it, thankfully, pretty plug and play. I had originally wired it in another truck, but it is gonna work for this one. So, all right, you guys, way cleaner than it was before. It may be hard to tell on camera, but in person, I mean, you have all that fur, so it looks way better. So I'll have actually a good surface for sound dampening when we get that in. And yeah. All right, you guys, getting this all wired up. So this is for the front running lights, blinker, signal, everything. What's nice about this is that I actually wired this on a different truck, but I made it possible to be taken off and all kept the same. So I'm running everything I ran the same way on the other truck. These are for the rear. Then we got horn relay right there, some grounds right there, and then oil pressure, coolant, temp sensor, and then got the VHX box. So it's like all pretty wired in. Get it in here. It doesn't look horrible. It's pretty clean. So makes it nice, straightforward. You know, that's your high beam button right there. Just goes right here in this little circle. But yeah, that's what it's looking like, you guys. Back with another day. We'll be working on this rat rod again right here. So today we're gonna work on the front clip, hooking up the front end, run some lights to the front. Got this front clip installed, but I think I ran into a slight issue. If you look down on this, you can tell that the radiator's turned just a little bit. It's not straight. And honestly, when you look at it, I'm dead on pretty much with it. The cab front clip is kind of turned towards the right. So you look down this way, it's slightly different, slightly off. I can't just turn it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna loosen up the cab mounting bolts to the chassis so I can get it all straight. Okay, so what I had to do is I had to take this front bolt out because, as you can tell, like that's how you look through, and that's way off. So whoever did the chassis, person who used to work here, obviously didn't get the right measurements, but as you can tell, way better. It's slightly off still, but then again, it is not a perfect truck, so that's pretty good. So what I'm gonna do now is probably gonna take a step bit on the bottom or a die grinder and bring it the hole more this way to make that work. So if you look straight down, basically just make a new hole. It'll be a whole lot easier to move the whole thing over. So that's what I'm gonna do. Top of the inner fenders and outside fenders all tightened down. Bottom of the radiator tightened down. This side tightened down. Cab mount bolted down. So next step I think is probably the bottom of the outside and inside, both sides. And we do have, what are they? These bolt holes. And of course, the fiberglass ones do not line up with the cab. That is pretty basic, but it is going to be on both sides, so I'll have to do those as well. Figure out. Oh, there we go. Yep, see? And yeah, start doing that. Go from there. There's no hole, but I'm going to drill them out, get a bolt through, nut on, and that side will be done. Right, guys, there actually is a hole on the bottom. It's a little angled, so I might need to get a longer bolt, but it should work. I actually need to go get a big washer for that one. What's up, you guys? This is the to-do list on the 56 rat rod. So we got to wire up the front end, got to put fuel injectors in, upper intake and distributor, and we got to do some more wiring in the cab. Let me show you guys a little bit of this. So our distributor goes right there. I got a glove cover in it so nothing gets in the hole. Upper intake on, injectors in. Then we could put the Holley engine management system inside and start wiring that in. These are my rear running lights right here. When we go inside, I got to wire up some starter stuff, All this goes to the fuse box, oil pressure sensor, coolant temp sensor. We got a VHX box that we got to put in for the Dakota Digital. It just plugs right into there. There's 2 plugs that plug underneath the dash. Got to bolt that in somewhere. I'm probably assuming like right in here. Covered up that big ugly hole. And yeah, throttle pedal in. So theoretically speaking, it's not that far away. Oh yeah, we got to get a header made for this side. Header didn't work. I think what we're gonna do about this coolant line, we're just gonna loop it because we don't have a heater for it. Just loop it right there. Yeah. We're getting all these wires ran. So the blue one, that's oil. Tannish orange, that's my gas gauge. And where is this? Oh, coolant temp sensor. So that actually just plugs in right there. But so I run everything. So it's gonna come down like this underneath. I'm gonna clamp for this bolt. Clamp to this so it holds it in. Comes up around. These are rear lights that run down. Brake booster. And the front will run over here, down and across. Go down to a hole like in there somewhere. And then run to the front and split off for both headlights and blinkers. Yeah, gas gauge will run through the top. Gas gauge will run through the top, down, run all the way underneath where the lights are, but except to the gas tank. And then I do have the thick wire, thick sheeting right there. It's gonna run across to a panel right here. And we're gonna have 2 mega fuses. And the 2 mega fuses are for the starter. So it's gonna bolt here, right? One's gonna run the starter down there, up, underneath here. That goes to the battery that's behind the post right there, the mount. Get everything run for the starter ignition so it can start up. Honestly, guys, this is what I like to call organized chaos. It may look like a whole big mess to you guys, but I know what it all goes to. This is just an extra intake. This is the Holley engine management system, just sitting on top. These are my injectors I'm going to put in, and this is the upper intake. This is the throttle body right here, filter, gaskets. This is a little pretty cover. It goes right there. So I'm going to show you guys me getting these injectors right here onto the fuel rails, and then they bolt down from right there to right there. So we can get that done. Get a gasket here, upper intake on, throttle body on, get the whole engine management system in. All right, you guys, we got something crazy again, like crazy. So we're gonna go throw this intake back on, and it's inside.
Rub my finger through there and pull some of it out.
Yeah, just metal shavings. Look at that. Metal shavings all up inside the
That
upper
looks
intake.
small, but in a motor, that's not, that's no good.
And it's in every, oh look, you can see it
oh
right
wow,
there.
just everywhere.
Everywhere. Holy
And we've been
crap.
blowing it out for a while. Like,
Yeah,
it's just,
it just keeps coming. You might just need to like do a different upper intake, honestly, because
we'll just completely dunk this and flush it, like somehow.
yeah,
Even then, I don't know. Just
it's
sketchy.
crazy.
Really sketchy.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't start this motor up. Would have been cooked. What did we find?
Metal. So metal.
Gosh.
Your mining would be rich.
Yeah. Those are big chunks of metal.
Oh yeah, look at that. Those would do some serious damage.
Yeah. It's kind of a blessing in disguise all this happened.
Yeah, it kind of is.
broken. Fuel rails with injectors on, upper intake on, throttle body on, distributor in. We gotta run all the distributor wires. Luckily I did take a video of where each goes. Now we can do the Holley engine management system inside engine bay. Get it all hooked up. Holley basically sells a kit as plug and play. You do have to change the plugs out depending on what type of motor you do have, but for the most part it's fairly plug and play. Everything's labeled, so you generally have a good idea where everything goes. So this plugs into the ECU box. Input output, knob, got some coolant temp sensors in here, fuel injector, ignition, O2 sensor. So there's just various plugs, and as you're learning and as you're going, doing, building things, you start to put it all together. So that's basically how I learned, just doing it, figuring it out, getting it done. So one of the reasons why we got metal shavings inside the lower intake is partly my fault. They explained this earlier. This plug was not in the back of the lower intake, but that doesn't justify metal shavings where the lifters are because it doesn't connect. So, but gonna get this in before I do anything else, so it doesn't get messed up again. All right, guys. So I think for the Terminator X Holley system, I'm gonna drill a hole probably like right here and run it down through the center console. So it'd be like right there, come down, and the box would be like over here somewhere. Because realistically, we're gonna have 2 bucket seats with a 5-point harness, and there's gonna be a roll cage. Goes up, across, go through the cab. So roll cage come through the cab, like right there, boom, bed. So. You guys see it? Right there. I've got this nice billet clamp for the harness to go through. What's up, you guys? So I just found out that Rudy is coming over to our shop and he's gonna check out our build. So I'm gonna try and figure out what he's got going on for his rat rod, see if I can beat that.
Looks like it's got a lot of work done to it. It doesn't look like a junkyard motor.
No, it's bottom end. It might be stock. We're not 100% sure. Someone went through it at one point for sure, but 302, 50 out of a 2000 Ford Explorer. Same with the frame, and yeah, that's just what it is. What's under your hood?
Well, I've got a 460 big block,
All right.
twin turboed, but it's stock bottom end too.
Okay.
So it's even, right?
Yeah. Between turbo. I had to make the trans tunnel. I'm not a fabricator by any means either. It's,
I was liking it. I was liking the style.
But I mean, it works. So
Was it going to be fast?
hopefully, yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think we need a little friendly competition once they're both up and running, right?
Yeah, a little friendly competition in the sand. Yeah, that'll be fun. Let's find out.
I think you guys should, compete for slips.
For pinks?
I think
For
that.
slips? Race for slips.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too.
I got to get back and catch up. You're a little further along
Yeah,
than
I got
am.
a lot of work.
Sounds good.
All right.
See ya.
Good to see you. So I'm pretty stoked that my build is actually ahead of Rudy's build, but I gotta do something to figure out how to make this thing faster, like a used supercharger, maybe some NOS. We'll see. Gotta figure it out. All right, guys, stay tuned for the next video. We're gonna get this bad boy running.